Learn how to navigate city permits, avoid scams, trust reliable builders, and maximize your budget when rebuilding your home after the fires. Okay, over to our CEO, Aaron Weiss.
Well, thank you for tuning in. I mean, we're doing this as a service to the community. Hopefully, we'll get more people next time, and word of mouth. We're just kind of testing it out. And thank you, Susie and I, for joining. They'll be able to answer any questions as they are in the middle of the process. And we're going to distribute this online also as well. So sometimes people cannot be here at the moment, but they will get it at a later date in the form of a link. So your time is well appreciated, and we're glad to be here. So I wanted to talk about the different phases that are the most important things in the building process. And with the Burkharts, we're already in the design phase, but before the design phase, we have the demo phase, and we will send out the slides for the meeting later and all that. So the demo phase is basically what do we do with our burnt home? So there's two options. There's either the Army removal, which is the Army Corps does the work, or a private contractor. Prior to all that happening, the Army does the removal of the hazardous materials on site. And then you get a stamp of approval that your site does not have any hazardous materials such as asbestos and different other materials. That's even before we start demoing. That is the first phase. And then you can decide which way you're going. With the Burkharts, we went with the Army Corps that basically took out the home and demoed everything that we needed. One of the things to consider are, do we want to leave any part of the structure intact? So let's separate, in this case, between a part of the structure that is structural, that's holding up weight of a second story, that is considered damaged. And in our example, we have an exterior patio with a barbecue that we decided to keep, and that structure just is standing on its own and it's not affecting anyone else. So we decided to keep that part, demo the rest of the house, the slab, the foundation, everything is taken out. So we have essentially a ready to build lot, which is cleared out. That would be the phase, the second phase, phase two, where somebody takes out the home. Phase three, we have an arborist that comes out. He gives the clearance of which trees can be taken out and gives the approval to take them out. Once they approve that, the Army Corps comes back, or the private contractor, and takes everything out. And after that, the site is cleared and the permitting phase is about to begin. So before we go into the next phase, Susie Art, would you like to, how did you think the demo phase was on your?
So I just want to give our personal experience, because there's been a lot of information put out there that on social media and so forth, like that people don't have a choice of what stays and what goes, and what trees. And they thought, oh, Army Corps just comes in and like clears everything out. And that was not the case at all. And so they were very respectful. I mean, they were incredibly gracious and very, they really felt bad for us, and they were very sympathetic to our situation. And they walked through, we went through multiple walkthroughs. And we had a map, and it was whatever we wanted. It was save this, save this, save this, and only take this. And they marked everything very clearly. And then they called us and said, this is what we're doing tomorrow. And so we were able to go there and, watch from a distance and see what's going on. And then their arborist did come back after the debris was removed and kind of go through the trees of what was really dead, what was stress sprouting, what could we save. And it was up to us to choose what we wanted to go with their advice. And the only thing with Army Corps is, if they're going to take a tree, they just chop it right at the ground. They don't actually go in and dig out all the roots. So if you're going to have trees removed by them, they'll just saw it off right at the base. And then you'll need someone else, like a tree service, to come in and take the stumps out. Otherwise, if you want a tree service to do the whole thing, then of course they'll come in and take the stump, take the debris, take all of that stuff gone. So if you look at our lot, like the lawn is there, the front steps are there, the whole back patio, our whole back garden is still there. And it was, I just want to stress that it's not an all or nothing.
I understand. Absolutely. Absolutely. So the downside to that service, they're a little bit unpredictable. The scheduling, we thought that they would be, you don't really get an exact timeline, but we were surprised in a good way that they were there, and we were able to start the demo phase and use them. So that's the first phase, and now we have a almost empty lot, and we need to think, what are we going to do now? So the design phase, we strongly suggest to get a licensed architect to do the project with you and take you through all the steps that are needed. I wanted to go over, once you get the site cleared, the clock starts ticking, and we want to get back as soon as we can. So we don't want to do 2 steps forward and then 1 step back. So one of the things that you need to do immediately when you're done demo, in order to allow for a flow of the design process, is we have here our notes here is the site survey, which is bringing out a company that will give the exact location of the property. It's not as simple as it used to be. There used to be fences. They're all gone. Nobody knows exactly where it starts and ends. And basically to lay out the terrain on a map, on CAD drawing, so the architect can properly design the home. Because your boundaries determine where the structure is going to be, how big and how wide. All of those elements are part of the design phase. So we're going to start with the site survey. That'll give the architect what to work from. In the meantime, we also have to do a soil report. The soil report is something that takes 2 to 3 months. So the city requires that for the planning. It helps us determine the foundation we need and the condition of the soil. And without doing that, when it's all clear, it'll be very difficult to get approval for the architectural meeting. So these are just these side notes. The surveyors also, it's a few weeks out. Everyone is busy, so you want to be on top of it from the beginning and not have to, oh, my architect said that I already need a survey and I didn't know, etc., that I need a soil report. You will need those reports. Each one of them are a few $1,000s. It's not cheap, but it's not too expensive. But this is what we need to get the plans approved. After that, what we start is with the fun stuff, the design meeting with the architect and the GC to discuss the future build. One of the pitfalls when you're designing a new home, sometimes people tend to say, I had a 2,000 square foot house. This is a great opportunity. Let's build a 3,000 square foot house. So if you're on a budget, that would be a little problematic, because if you're building more than 10% of the size of your original home, then all the permit fees kick in and the school fees, etc., So you're looking into an expense of anywhere from 40 to 50 grand, depending on the size of your home, in different city fees. And Susie touched about it. It's a little bit obscure about who is going to what is going to be covered and what's not, but these are the guidelines that we received. If you're building more than 10%, so if your home was 2,000 square feet, you can build up to 2,200. If you're building more than that, you're going to pay more for the permit fees. And they say that they will push you to the back of the line of the permitting process. Because as of now, the fire damaged homes, they get jumped up to the front if they're building and rebuilding the same exact structure, up to a variation of 10%. Of course, you can build smaller if you like. That's never an issue. But bigger, you have to stay within those 10%. So, Susie, do you want to just maybe give us a couple minutes and explain to us about the architectural process and the meeting with our architect and all of that?
So we met with Kenneth Lee, who we met through meeting Aaron and Oren, and they had worked on other projects in the past. And so we kind of hit it off and thought it would be great to just have them as a team all together. And so we met with him several times with just kind of having general ideas of what we would like the home to look like. Do we want it to look the same? Do we not want it to look the same? We decided to go a little different, a little bit more style with a touch of modern. And so he was really great about asking the right questions of, where's the heart of the house? What's the most important place? And just really kind of getting into our lifestyle of kind of, do we cook a lot? How big do we want our kitchen? Do we spend a lot of time in the family room or the bedroom, and so he really listened to us about kind of our style of what we wanted. And then he just started creating this idea. And then every time we met, the notebook just got thicker and thicker of just like, okay, we're getting into the nitty gritty. We're getting into sizes of windows. We're getting into where lighting's going to be. We're getting to where, you want a door to face the sunrise or whatever. So, as heartbreaking and as it is to have to do all this, it was really a nice thing to be able to just to create from nothing, we all loved our houses and the comfort zone of it. But now when you're starting from nothing, you can kind of have what you want and a little bit more of this, a little bit more counter space, a bigger bathroom or whatever within means of a budget and so forth. So it was a good experience. Kenny was very good about understanding what our needs and wants and wishes were. I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, Kenny has been fantastic to work with, very collaborative. I've never worked with an architect before, but you would think maybe an architect has their idea of what you should do or what makes more sense for your family, and might argue with you. He hasn't done any of that. He's been very cooperative. He does make fantastic suggestions that we would never think of, and then we usually adopt whatever he's recommending because he knows what he's doing. He has a tremendous amount of experience, and we've been very, very pleased with him. And looking forward to a new beginning.
Yeah.
Thank you for your input. So in what we did is we went over the different design layouts. We put them on a computer layout on a PDF, and after that we get we show the homeowners how the home is going to look like. We revise it as needed, and once we get to a architectural layout that everyone is happy with, the plans basically leave the owners and they go into the design phase of the structural engineering. What's going to hold up the home, the foundation, the beams, the steel, whatever is needed, and also the energy calculations to make sure that the home is energy conscious in a way that prevents high electricity bills due to loss of heat or cooling, etc., etc. So the plans, after the homeowners approve how big the rooms are, how the layout, where the kitchen's going to be, the bathrooms, all of that good stuff, they go into they start doing the rounds between the structural, the like I said, the engineering, the structural, all the different clearances that the city or county require you to do. That is the phase that comes at that point. Once we have everything designed, we are at the mercy of the city or county. We submit the plans to them. They give us back any corrections if there are any, and then we return it back to them. At this point, we are now waiting for the city to get back to us and give us the approval. Okay. Now I wanted to move on to after the design phase, move on to the construction phase. Marcy, would you or does anybody have any questions regarding the design phase?
So yeah, I do. So with what we're working with a draftsman who's also a structural engineer. So like a lot of these steps are kind of happening concurrently. We decided not to go with an architect because for various reasons, cost being one of them. And it's interesting to hear Susie's story because, it sounds like you're working with an actual architect and there's more of kind of like a step-by-step hand-holding, which we're not getting. We're getting more of like a DIY experience where we're consulting with a draftsman. So I guess my question is, what are some of the things that I need to keep in mind with the approach that I'm going with? And that might be much more loaded question with a much longer answer. But I guess I'm just sharing that's what my curiosity is, which is what's bringing me to this meeting.
Yeah, it depends on if you're just trying to copy what you did before. But if you want to improve it a bit, it's the architects have, like any professional, they have knowledge of doing something many times before, and that projects also to your project. So advice to you is to maybe even take your the initial drawings that you get, print them out in a construction size, and go over them more in depth, and try. I mean, there's many ways to do it. It's a little harder at when we do additions. We put tape on the ground outside and show the size and all that. It's a little bit harder on a burnt house site, but the advice is just get the final plans and imagine yourself walking through, and ask them also if you can get a 3D. A lot of softwares can do that nowadays. That will allow you also to get more of a visual aspect of the project.
Aaron, can I just ask for a moment? So in terms of the 3D, as the building contractor, how are you able to help facilitate that?
So that would be done by the architect. The plans are on the computer. They used to draw it by hand, but that doesn't really happen much anymore. And as part of the visualization, there are softwares that just basically spit it out based on the sizes of your project, and give you the elevations and the sides and all that. So now I would like to move on to the construction phase, and what we need to do in the construction phase. One of the first things is, as we're waiting, we want to protect the site with fencing, and if any work starts, we'll need a temporary toilet. It's not needed right at the beginning. What we need to do is install a temporary power pole, and then we will start with once it's installed, we're going to start with getting the power pole connected to the main distributor of power of the area. So we're going through that process, and also, of course, we want to connect to water and have them give us at least a source of water, because that will be needed during construction. So the gas will already be capped by the city in the demo phase. There's nothing to worry about that for now. What you need for construction is the water and electricity. After that, we have our home pretty much set. I think the easiest, the longest lead item is what we need to focus on first. Long lead item in construction terms means something that you cannot just go to the store and buy. There's a certain period of time that you have to wait until you receive that. The main long lead item are the windows in a construction project. So we've already started with our design. Susie went to the window supplier to check out the different windows to see what they like, and we're now in the last sign-offs to get the windows approved and ordered. Even though we did not start building yet, there is an advantage at some point to get the windows ordered, because in certain cases they can take 3 to 5 months, depending on the type of window and the availability and the manufacturer. So since we are building per the windows, it's a custom built home basically, then we would order them even before we break ground and start digging. which is a little counterintuitive. Oh, build the house, and after it's all built, let's just throw in the windows. But windows are made customized to your home. There's many different dimensions, many different sizes, with grids, without grids, methods of opening the window. So you cannot store 1,000 different windows and just go to the store and pick it up as if it's like tile or flooring or whatnot. So this has to be reviewed by the architect, the contractor, the owner, approved, and then we start with the window order and give that to get that process going. So that's one of those long lead items. Besides that, as we get closer to construction, we give the owners a list of everything that they need in terms of, we call it the project list, to build, to purchase for the home. For example, if you have 3 bathrooms, each bathroom will be named, and you'll know that you have to buy for bath 1, bath 2, bath 3, and there will be a list for you to simply check off and purchase. For example, a typical bathroom, you would need to buy a toilet, a shower valve, choose the tile, choose the flooring, the sink, the vanity, any lights. All these things are concentrated in one shared document that after that, we just start doing check marks on what we purchased. And that way, everybody knows what is being purchased and what we need to do. To give you an example, let's say you purchased a certain shower fixture. So we will get the model number. You'll write us the model number, and we'll know, is this a shower head that is just a shower head, or it also has a handheld next to it. If it has a handheld, we have to run a pipe for the handheld and also for the shower head. If it's a rain shower, we'll know it's a rain shower, and then we have to run water up to the ceiling of the bathroom. These are just examples. If you're purchasing the appliances, then you would have to know what kind of electricity does each appliance require. Where is the electricity going to go? Is it going to go at the bottom left of the appliance or the top right? Because we want the appliance to be pushed in all the way. All these little details are engulfed in the project list, so there's a common language between the contractor and the homeowner. And just to lay it out there, the homeowner does not need to know the mechanics or what exactly is how each machine works. All we need to know as the contractor is the model number, and we will pull out the specifications based on the model number, and we'll know what to do. So that would be the fixture phase and all the project list. So just to sum it up, we want to get the site ready for construction, get it fenced up, install power pole, get water connected, and then start with our windows and get everything in motion. So when the time comes that we get the approval from the city, our time to start is minimized. Because if we're not ready yet for everything from the city, then we would get the plans, and then we would have to do all of this process as we noted here. Now, I know this is a lot of information. I wanted to give you the mic if you have any questions, or Susie, if you wanted to comment on anything. Marcy, we're here to answer any questions.
This is really helpful. I appreciate the way you kind of lay out like all the steps that the contractor does, you know, in the construction phase, because that's been kind of a hazy mystery to me. So it sounds like in terms of running utilities like the water and the power, is that something that the homeowner will have to sort out with like our utility providers? Like I'll have to contact Edison and say, I need power restored to this property address for this purpose. And then the water as well. I need to contact the water company.
So,
And
sorry.
And one last thing, just to add to that, you know, our lot's been cleared, and, you know, where the underground pipes and things have been capped and marked. So do you just work with what's there, or do you have to do like an additional like sort of temporary construction to get the piping and the cabling and whatever that's run through the property to work with to you know, to work with what the construction sites needs? If that makes sense. Okay, I'm done.
Again, I lost you there on that last part.
So our lot is cleared, and I see, you know, in the ground.
Yeah, the
like,
pipes that were
and
capped
things are
off.
capped.
And
You can
wanna
work
know
with
how
that.
how to get it approved. So Susie, do you wanna let us know a little bit about your experience with the different utility companies, and then I'll summarize that.
Okay. So right out of the gate, Art contacted all of our utilities, and like that was in January, shut everything off.
Right.
Yeah. And then for water, I don't know, Marcy, if you're with Rubio Canyon, is what we were with Rubio Canyon.
No, with Lincoln Avenue.
Okay. So I contacted them directly through just a chat on their website. And I said, I just need my water turned back on. And they said, okay, it was capped, right? Like the tube going to the property, but there's the spigot out by the sidewalk. So I got my plumber, so you have to have some type of a spigot or something to be able to turn water on and off. And so I hired our plumber that we've used for 20 years. He came over, he tapped into that city line and gave me like a key. So it's like a pipe with a little wrenchy thing on it. And supposedly when you turn that on, then water will come out. So you just have to go to who you get your water from, and tell them your address and tell them that you need water back on.
Okay.
And that's what we did. And it worked. And so,
Okay.
so for the electricity, ARM builders, it was kind of written in our contract that they would go ahead and put in a temporary, it's called TPP, which is the temp power pole. And so ARM builders for us took care of that. Apparently it got in yesterday. But if you're kind of doing this on your own, the Disaster Relief Center on Woodbury, if you go there, you go to the desks that are with Edison, and you tell them that you need a TPP, and then they will set it up for you, and they will come out and they'll put one in for you if your contractor is not going to do it. So if you're doing it on your own, you got to go to the DRC, which is the one I was going to, was the one on Woodbury.
Okay.
And then you just tell Edison, and then they'll schedule it out to get someone to come put it in for you.
Okay, great. Thank you. That's super helpful.
Yeah.
Right, so we're gonna finish the install, and then we're gonna request a permit, and it's a little bit different in each area, whether it's DWP or Edison, but you just have to follow the protocol and then get them connected. Obviously the homeowner will just add this on to the account, and you will be using the same account as before, but now you'll be getting power through a temporary power pole. okay, which you have to put in a breaker. There's a few details in it, but it's typically a 100 amp panel that will be sufficient to provide all the electricity needed for the duration of the project. And again, this is only temporary. The main panel will be bigger because it will be serving the air conditioning and all the different, all the different elements of the house. But now all we need is that temporary power pole that will be installed.
So Aaron,
Okay.
it's nearly time to wrap up. So do you have any other comments or questions? Susie or Marcy, anything else you'd like to ask? We can always roll on longer as needed.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you want to add anything so far of where we are?
No, I'll just tell you that, I mean, between Kenny and Arm, I mean, they've made it very, very easy for us.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they put up fencing while we were in Hawaii. We didn't even know they were putting it up, and they just put it up, but it's done. And the power went in yesterday. So, I mean, I'm not trying to be a shill for Arm and for Kenny, but they have all been spectacular so far. So if you haven't made a decision, you definitely should interview them. And I couldn't be happier so far.
And it's been really helpful to, as well as I'll get a reminder like, oh, now there's permit fees happening. And so you need to, here's a link, right? And click on this link, and then you create an account with County Works. And then that's where like all your permits are. So you could kind of see the stages of all the permits and what's, not cleared or what was denied or whatever is happening. And then like with the soil sampler, that was just, they're like, you need to get a soil sampler. And I just, reviewed a couple companies and hired them out, got it done. And then the surveyor, Arm Builders referred a surveyor for us to do all of that. So Arm Builders as kind of like, I think of it, right? It's like construction manager, construction engineer, you've got Michael managing the emails and all this and the money stuff. And so it's like kind of like a whole team of people that would, like, oh, okay, here's the info to do this, and then call these people to do this. And so they've really just kind of been this bridge to help us understand, because none of us have been in this situation before. If you've never built a house or, I mean, we did a remodel 2 months before the fire, but it's like to really start it, nobody has any idea. And to have these experts come in and just kind of walk us through and hold our hands and get us through this stuff is been incredibly helpful and just made the process that much easier for us to swallow and accept and move forward, as best we can.
Mm-hmm. Is Arm Builders, are you a design build firm?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're the one-stop shop of sorts.
Yeah. And we also work with other architects or designers or whatnot.
Uh-huh.
So we're flexible to the requirements of each project in a sense.
Can you share a little bit about like the purpose of the fencing and like how do you avoid like theft of construction materials? Because I'm concerned that, Pasadena is being targeted, continues to be targeted for theft, after the fire, and that's been a concern.
So a lot of first of all, a fence is not only for theft, it's also to avoid unwanted individuals coming into the property. It's a hazardous area, so we don't want anyone who is not authorized to be walking in. That's one aspect. As for the theft, the theft is more of an issue in a later phase of the project when there's appliances and fixtures and stuff like that. There are different services that there's a surveillance. It's kind of that we will consider later in the project. which is like you put cameras, and those cameras are monitored by live agents. So if they see someone, they'll be yelled at by the camera, get out, we're calling the police, et cetera, to kind of deter them from continuing what they're doing, as opposed to having it without anything. You can also put barbed wire to make it a little bit harder to go in, but in certain areas in LA, they don't really allow that. In the county, I think they're more lenient. But the fence and that is to keep the bad or the unnecessary people out and protect you. And there's just different levels of protection that each one is based on your needs and requirements for the project.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and we look forward to thank you everyone so much for joining. Thank you, Susie. Thank you, Art. Thank you, Marcy, and Marcus for guiding us along. And I know out of this very horrifying event, we will move forward and we will rebuild and make and have restore your way of life, what you've been used to, and hopefully this will be a period of time and not something that drags out. That the insurances come through, that the city comes through, that everybody keeps their promises, and we'll. Short time from now, we'll start forgetting all this happened. Now we're still in it, but we want to get to that phase as soon as possible. And thank you everyone for your time and for tuning in.